because...
That's the stuff I'm supposed to get?
Yes, sir.
Why are they wearing those funny suits?
Well, they're protective, as you know. That's a very corrosive byproduct they're handling.
Oh, yeah. Because if they didn't wear those suits, those boys would be so full of holes they'd whistle when they walk.
I was... Gabe, help me out here.
Well, it appears that you have your facts wrong, Mr. Gantry. Your company is supposed to get 1,500 gallons. Destination someplace called Belle Isle in Louisiana. Signed for by an officer of your company and due the 23rd.
I believe the word you're searching for is wrong.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, wrong. You are not right. You are incorrect.
You in front of wrong, Gabe.
So, we're right and you're wrong.
Let me see that. Takes a big man to admit when he's wrong. I am not a big man.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it.
A bit of a different scene this morning for Gabe Neitzel and I here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy as we are at AmFam Field and not on the warning track as we typically are when we are talking about Brewers baseball. Gabe, where the hell are we?
So we are inside X Golf at American Family Field, and this is kind of it's been a number of different things at the stadium, but when you take a look at the stadium, you see the giant windows that are out in left field. That's where we are. But we're not here for X Golf today, even though I love this place. Upper Deck Golf, which goes around to different stadiums across the country and puts up, just a little golf competition, and you can kind of come through and try your best at closest to the pin. They've got 9 different pins and targets in the outfield, and then you have 9 different tee boxes all throughout the stadium. So I'm looking across, I see one in the club level right above the press box. There's 2 up in the loge level, just all over the stadium, and then you get to hit golf balls onto the field here at American Family Field.
Now, I imagine, and Chew, you're familiar with the X Golf brand, and of course Top Golf around the country as well, where you can kind of do this thing where you hit the targets. I imagine they tell you the distances on each of these from each spot. That's what the different colored flags are for?
Yeah, you're supposed to. Yeah, they'll let you know, what one you're hitting to, how far that is from the different teeing grounds that they have all throughout AmFam Field.
This is a great way to use the stadium, to use the facility in the off season, right? We often talk about what do we do with AmFam Field when the Brewers are not playing, and this seems like a great way to get people back out to the ballpark, to utilize the space. And Chew, I imagine if you were here, you would dominate at this. This feels like something right up your alley because you don't have to walk a course, you have to do all of it. You don't have to talk to people, right? You just go to your one spot.
He would try to hit something off of the scoreboard, is what he would do.
Let me ask you.
This would not be right up his alley. He would be breaking things all throughout the stadium.
Is the roof open? Because I'm seeing breath from you two. No?
No, the roof is not open. We are inside the cozy confines of X Golf.
First of all, you're lying. Second of all, Schartenfarter, because you are in Florida, where I'm sure it is a lovely.
I'm a Schartenfarter.
8 o'clock there. I'm sure we're reaching temperatures of 75 degrees at this point. Is it that warm? What are you dealing with down there?
Yesterday we had 88. It's a little steamy. I'm actually. I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to come back for a week.
All right, we'll take it.
Sunday. I'm a little excited.
Here we go.
Cut the grass one more time. Gabe, have you striked any fence yet,
Now we're starting to figure out why he wants to come back. Because he wants to cut his grass. He doesn't have a lawn down in Florida. He misses cutting the grass, and he wants to come back. Not to see us, not to hang out on the show, but to cut his grass.
Events have taken place in stadiums. Such as Fenway Park, Wrigley Field, Dodger Stadium, PNC Park. So it's great to have it here at AmFam Field as well. Chewy, I got to ask you a question, though, because you are in Florida, and we always talk about how you go down to Florida, there's the time change. So when it's 7 o'clock here, it's 8 o'clock there. Theoretically, you're getting an extra hour in the morning before you have to jump on with us lunatics. And I feel like it sort of maybe kind of mimics what we've been dealing with this week with daylight saving. I am over it. I am all the way over the old daylight saving. And I feel like it's not just people with kids, because that's the common thing, right?
Well,
It's
I was about to say, I think the thing
so
with you
hard.
is 100%, because you have kids, which is,
But
kids
you-
don't have a...
You have a dog.
Yeah.
Joshy has a dog. Like, the dogs don't know the time. The dogs want to be fed when the dogs were fed, and when the clock changes, we're so accustomed to the schedule. Joshy and I were talking about this yesterday when we were at Potawatomi for the Weekly Wager, our radio show on Wednesday nights from 6 to 7, where we talk about sports betting. And Joshy was like, yeah, the pup, right, Josh? You were saying the pup has a tough time.
Yeah, I've been getting up. Usually we get up at 4 a.m. That's when I get up to come to work. And for the past, since daylight savings, it's been about 3:15, 3:30, 3:45, which is not great to wake up to before you're having to get up and get ready.
So Jen, you're saying the witching hour changes for the kids? Because typically all my kids' witching hour was like late afternoon. That's when they turn into beasts. So now it's in the morning?
How about both?
Why not both? Why
Yeah,
limit yourself to one witching hour when you can have multiple
My
witching hours?
5-year-old fell asleep on the bus yesterday on the way home.
That's nothing.
My 6-year-old was like, Mom, she fell asleep like 10 times. I was like, she's tired. She's tired. She can't figure out the schedule. She was up this morning at 4:45. How fun for me. Again,
Easy to see why you'd fall asleep on the bus if you're waking up at 4:45.
I thought daylight saving at one point had some like tie into farming and like needing to be aligned with the sun. We don't need to do that anymore. And I thought, and maybe I'm wrong because that happens as it did, the one time yesterday on the show. I thought that there was some like government involvement where they were trying to get rid of this sucker. I thought they were getting rid of daylight saving, and all of a sudden it's still here.
Yeah, I don't think this is something that's going to be happening anytime soon.
I thought the big issue was, the government didn't want the kids at the bus stop when it's dark out, and that's why they changed it. Have you ever heard that theory?
No,
Which makes
not,
sense.
but that makes sense. I could buy into that.
Yeah,
because it is pretty. I mean, it is a little bit lighter. It was very dark before daylight savings time in the morning.
But here you need daylight savings because before we went back the hour, the sun literally wouldn't come up here till about 10 till 8.
Whoa.
And it's just, it would set, obviously, darker at night. Now, I think some states need it, some states don't. And that's why, there's very few states that don't have it. Like Indiana, Arizona.
And like pockets of Arizona.
Wait, Indiana has it. Indiana has daylight saving, don't they?
No, I think there's a pocket. No, okay. I think Arizona doesn't do it as a state, but there are pockets of Indiana that don't do daylight saving.
Can you imagine driving from Milwaukee to Waukesha? And Waukesha is a different time than Milwaukee?
Say that again?
Waukesha.
Waukesha?
Well, right, but isn't it Waukesha? No.
You were adding an extra, E in there.
No, Waukesha. I got a girlfriend who's from that area, and she always said...
From Waukesha.
Waukesha.
I call
Why
it
are you adding an E?
Because it's fun.
I thought it was. I thought it was Waukesha. Well, some people say Waukesha, but I feel like people from that area, again, my girlfriend born and raised there, called it Waukesha with an E.
Chewy's kids went to West. I defer to the man who coached at the school and kids who went to the school.
We're deferring to Chewy's offspring for this?
Yeah.
Well, I call it Washishusha, and then I call it Kanamwak Ninimawak.
See, now that's fun to say.
Yeah.
800-990-3776.
I made a mistake. I deferred to Chewy. That's on me.
Yeah, and then you deferred to his offspring as though they are getting their information from him. They're getting it from somewhere else. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I thought that there was at least a sect of the population that says Waukesha. But I could be wrong. It's happened. It happened yesterday on the show. I want to get rid of daylight saving. Can anybody else jump on board? If I were to run a campaign, that would be my platform. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of daylight saving, okay? Nobody needs it. It doesn't make any sense. The kids are crazy, and that's that.
Yeah, I have not seen much of an issue. My dog adjusted after his time to eat adjusted on Sunday, he's been fine. Other than, I've had to pry him out of bed because it's so dark and it's still dark in the morning when I try to take him for a walk at 5. But other than that, it's fine.
But I've got no problem. The toughest time of the year for us is when football is over and the sun doesn't come up till like 7:30. There's nothing worse than leaving the house.
AKA
had to leave it at like 10 till 6 and it's dark as ever, right? That's the worst time of year. The best is 100%. When you see light at the end of the tunnel in spring, and then in the spring it goes forward? Yeah. Spring forward, fall back. Yeah.
Well, you'll be happy to know that my daughter this morning, as she was enjoying her breakfast at the lovely hour of 5:08, said, "Mommy, when is summer vacation?" I said, "Oh,
she's got a long ways to go."
Let's focus on maybe a little Thanksgiving break first. Let's get there first.
A number of things before we get there. So we are out here at AmFam Field in the X Golf location. Gabe, where are we? This has been here for how long? The X Golf.
So X Golf opened end of the season in 2022. So they just completed their second full season here. It's a great spot for. I play an X Golf league during the winter out here. It's a great spot if you're thinking of a place for a holiday party. Like, this space is large. They've got the 2 different bars. We're in a VIP area. It looks like they've got some comfy recliners. So it obviously can be utilized if you want to do the holiday party space for the simulators and the golf, but it's just a really cool, unique event space as well if you're looking for something like that around the holidays.
And I believe this is open all weekend long, right?
Yeah, so for Upper Deck Golfing, you can get your tee times, upperdeckgolfing.com/AmericanFamilyField to book tee times. Today is the first day, and it runs through the 9th.
It's got to be a good place to watch a Packer game, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you've been up here. You've been to this one, right, Chew?
I haven't been to that one.
I've
been to Mequon and I've been to Brookfield. Yeah.
So behind the bar here at X Golf, American Family Field, they've got 4 screens that they can turn into one. Like, that is prime viewing for any sporting event.
Okay.
Chew, I'm going to blow your mind here. Did you know that it's daylight saving time and not daylight savings time? Did you know that?
That I did not know. Why is that?
Daylight. I don't know. I just know everybody says daylight savings, and it's daylight saving.
Because you're saving the daylight.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Does it make sense? Did we do it? Did we save the daylight? Did we save it?
Doesn't feel like it.
Damn it. Well, I guess we'll just have to try again in the spring.
All right, we got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We do have Jason Wilde coming up this morning. There was a big development, a big revelation yesterday regarding the Preston Smith trade. I didn't see it coming, had no idea, and Gabe feels like good on Goody for how it all shook out. We will talk to Jason Wilde about that right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Stick around.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94 is going to be a little bit on the tight side from 27th Street all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound starting to build up in volume as well. And the only other thing we've got is an incident on the ramp from 9th Street to northbound 4394. It is off on the right side of that ramp, but just be extra careful as you're heading through there. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly sunny, a high of 57. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 41 at the lake, 35 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Jen, Gabe, and Chewy podcast is sponsored by Celsius Energy Drink, and I am here to tell you it makes a huge difference in my mornings. With a unique blend of essential energy and key vitamins, Celsius is your partner to an active lifestyle. My favorite, the Peach Vibe. Learn more at Celsius.com and pick up Celsius Energy Drinks today.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
This political season, you'll hear a lot of noise. But this November, Walker Media Agency has the expertise and team to improve your marketing, advertising, and IT. Start at WMA2024.com. Paid for by Matt Walker and Walker Media Agency.
The road to New Orleans starts here. Don't miss a beat on the green and gold.
Open, Jaden Reed!
Join Alex Stroh, Gabe Neitzel, John Anderson, Jason Wilde, and Super Bowl champions Brian Bulaga and Jared Bush. All the way on the road to Bourbon Street.
Road trip!
Green Bay Game Day, 3 hours before kickoff of every green and gold game. Listen live on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel.
Hey, it's Kyle Walls here for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you get 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Call 414-410-2000 to schedule your free in-home estimate today. Winter is almost here, and it's the perfect time to replace those old, drafty windows. For every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, plus 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to UWD.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I'm attorney David Gruber. We've helped injured Wisconsinites for more than 30 years. Trust our hometown team to get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Ready, down, put.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We will get to Jason Wilde in just a moment here, live from AmFam and the Upper Deck event that they have going on here this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But before we do that, Gabe, you were saying that this Preston Smith development yesterday, which was that he had in fact gone to the Packers brass and requested a trade, sort of changed your viewpoint a little bit. Yesterday you were saying, the Packers got worse by trading Preston Smith, but now knowing some of the details of why it went down the way that it did, you wanted to hand out some flowers, some compliments.
Yeah, the team to me still got, again, we can debate about how much worse. I don't think it's appreciably worse, but I think they still got worse. You're trading away a starter. You're trading a guy who's played the second most snaps at defensive end. You're not going to get better doing that. But the way that Goody handled it, now that we know that Preston Smith 2 weeks ago went to the Packers and asked for a trade, like Goody could have easily stood up there, on Wednesday and said, or on Tuesday after the trade deadline and said, hey, he asked for a trade. We decided that, hey, we could get something for him. We wanted to do something that made us both happy. Here's why we did it. And he didn't. He left that up. If Preston wants to let it be known that he requested a trade, okay. He requested a trade. And I think that just for a team that's not necessarily known for doing good by veteran players to handle the request, be able to trade him, and he made note of this, obviously, to trade him to a team that's in a really good playoff spot in Pittsburgh. Like, good on Goody for the way he handled that, because he could have easily stepped up there and said, yes, this is what he asked for, so this is why we decided to do it. Instead, he let Preston tell the story.
So now we go out to Jason Wilde, who is joining us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Sorry about that, Chewy. We'll get to you in 1 second.
Right.
Jason, did you have a similar reaction to Gabe when you heard that detail yesterday?
Well, yes, but I also wondered then why did Goody unprompted tell us that it's not like we were calling around, hey, are you interested in Preston Smith? Because wouldn't that have been exactly what they were doing after he requested the trade? Like, I agree with both of your points that it's nice that he did not come out and say that he had requested a trade. At the same time, he offered up unsolicited. It's not like we were calling around asking if teams were interested in him, which is not exactly what you had to do you decided to do once he requested a trade. Like, he could have left both pieces out of that, I guess is what I'm saying, because he wanted to, I guess he wanted to get it out there that they weren't really looking to trade him. But the way he painted the picture was inaccurate, and he did that apparently on purpose, where he didn't, again, it wasn't like I asked him, hey, Goody, were you actively seeking to trade him? He kind of offered that up by himself. So again, I'm with Gabe. I don't think it makes them significantly worse. I don't think he was trending in the right direction in terms of his contributions. My issue was, before knowing that he wanted to be traded, my issue was, here's a guy who obviously, even if he's not playing as much as he was at the start of the season, if you suffer injuries, he sure would be nice to still have on your team and still be part of your rotation. And Goody even acknowledged that when you move on from a player like Preston Smith, you're only 1 or 2 injuries away from saying, hey, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. That was what Goody, again, said unprompted. So, but the layer that he wanted to be traded definitely changes the way you view this. And what I find interesting is that, I wrote that story for last Sunday about Halfley, and I talked to 12 different players about him. And Preston Smith was not one of them, because the only time he's in the locker room is when we're in there is when he's playing that stupid game where they motion one way or the other and the other guy's got to react. They're facing each other. So I didn't talk to him, but everyone else is like really fully bought in and likes the system and likes Halfley. Interesting that he's kind of like Aaron Campman was back in 2009 when Dom Capers came in.
But Jason, I heard that the reasoning behind it was because he feels he's better in a 3-4 than a 4-3. I'm just smelling an excuse coming from another player at the end of the year.
Well, Chewy, clearly he missed dropping out and covering receivers in the slots. I mean, how else can you explain this? He clearly missed being able to, go one-on-one with some wideouts.
You know what he liked was getting roasted on social media.
Yeah.
He's like, "This is good for my brand."
Can you see at the end of the year, though?
My name out there.
Can you see at the end of the year when Rashawn Gary has 3.5 sacks, and I'm a better 3-4 than I am a 4-3.
Ooh,
is it?
I don't. I hate it when I have to do this. I really hate it. But that's a really good point. Like a really good point. Chewy was right. Chewy was right.
Chewy was right? Holy,
there it is.
Chewy was right.
That's the piece of this that, and look, I think you guys know me. I am not Mr. Negativity. There are those that cover NFL teams. I won't mention any names, but they just love the negative angles of just about everything, and they jump at those opportunities. And I am not wired that way, and I definitely, the way it worked out with Rashawn Gary was I'd been trying to get him for 2 weeks where he was, because he hadn't been productive. And then he had the game where he had the sack and he had a couple of pressures. What was that one that they moved him around? Was that Houston or was that it must have been Houston, right?
Yeah, they moved him around.
And he was lining up everywhere. Yep. And so then I get him, and the angle of that story changes slightly from the $96 million man has not been productive to he hasn't been productive, but he was productive in this game, and maybe that's the tipping point to get him going again. Because I don't like to write negative stories without talking to players first. I mean, even Chamorro, when he had that stupid locker in the corner that you couldn't get to. But in Rashawn Gary's case, that right now looks a little bit like an anomaly again, right? Like, since then, not a lot of impact from him. I know he shared the sack with Aaron Mosby, but that's really a really good point. Like, I wonder if somewhere down deep inside, that's how Rashawn Gary is either feeling or viewing this because of his lack of production. that he doesn't fit in the scheme. But what's weird is the dude at Michigan played with his hand down, played in a traditional 4-3 where he had to make the transition when he got to the league to be a stand-up guy. Now, maybe he got here and did that and was like, this is the better fit for me. But, again, let's be fair. He wasn't ultra-productive last year when he was playing in the Joe Barry system, and it's very hard for me to imagine anyone saying at this point, God, I really miss playing in Joe Barry's scheme.
Well, and here's where I get
Jason,
a little bit lost. Go ahead, Joe.
Jason, you are someone, and I love this about you, and you did it to the biggest star in Green Bay maybe ever. You hold people accountable. And me and Gabe catch a lot of heat on this show for being negative Nancy. All we're doing is keeping what did I just say? Keeping players accountable. And there's a segment of the fan base that just don't want to keep these guys accountable because they have their jersey or whatever. And I always tell the story when Bob McGinn and Jason, you were in the locker room. Bob McGinn wrote a tough article about Frank, and Frank was just giving it to Bob McGinn. And I said, Frank, shut the hell up. You played like crap. He has a job to do, and he didn't like it. We broke up for about a week, but I mean, and the superstar I'm talking about, Jason, is when you got in a fight with Brett because you held him accountable.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a great moment in my career. I really enjoyed that. Him and I yelling at each other.
Jason wants to relive it so bad. So, Jason, here's where I guess. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Gabe. Sorry, no. You go ahead. I'm good.
Well, I was just going to bring it back to Gary and Preston Smith and this whole thing, because where I get lost in this whole thing, and maybe this is me oversimplifying, but I mean, you got talked down to last year by Matt LaFleur about, well, the outside linebackers are really like defensive ends once we go to sub package, and if you're playing your sub package last year 75% of the time. And, to me, for defensive line, when we're talking about pass rush situations, it shouldn't be that much different to me. And if Rashawn Gary, I've seen it sometimes this year on third and long situations. If you don't want to have your hand in the ground, you don't have to have your hand in the ground because you're rushing the passer because everybody knows it's 3rd and 11 and they're going to throw the football. So I guess I get lost in Goody giving another excuse saying, well, the defensive line, we haven't had production, half a year, new system. Again, it just goes back to, man, how does anybody get sacks in this league? Between chipping and new systems, it seems like getting sacks is damn near impossible.
I love your sarcasm because that's almost word for word what I have been saying every time I ask a question about that. And it's really like 7-man protections with these backs and the tight end, and I'm like, God, that's really amazing. I can't believe no one has thought to do that to Myles Garrett or to Will McDonald for the Jets, who you picked Lucas Van Ness instead of when you guys flipped draft picks, and the guy that went 15th has been more productive. Yeah, I thought, when I asked Goody about this, I was actually at least pleasantly surprised because in a rare moment, and I know he expanded it to all the guys on the defensive line, but when I asked him, I understand that Rashawn is a conscientious player, but you have to get more out of him too, because now he's the leader of the pack up there, right? Like Kenny Clark obviously is more experienced, more decorated, but he's a defensive tackle. We're talking about the guys that are edge rushing, no matter what the system is. He is the guy, and he has not been good enough. And for Goody to respond with, we need to get more out of that group, everybody in that group, that he could have instead answered that differently, that did not acknowledge what was obvious to the rest of us, which is the $96 million player that you have on your roster is not playing up to his contract. And so, again, I don't know what they're going to do during the second half here after the bye week, but one of the many things that I like about Hafley, unlike Joe Barry, frankly, is that his attitude is not, this is our defense, this is what we do, we are not changing it because it's not working for certain players, we're not changing it because players are coming to me and talking to me about it. That was his mentality. We do what we do. And Jeff Hafley, to his credit, recognizes either weaknesses that something's not working and makes some tweaks to it, or listens to his players and does some tweaks. It's not just a blank check for his guys either. All of them mention this. Like, there are times where they say, look, I want to do this. I think it was Keyshawn Nixon that said it. And he's like, no, we're not doing that. But here's why we're not doing that. And so, again, that piece coming out from Brooke Pryor about Preston getting to Pittsburgh and saying that he requested the trade, that was fascinating to me because I just didn't see that coming, because so many other guys are so much happier than they were in the previous defensive regime.
Jason, Chewy referenced it. We have been taking a little bit of flack for, pointing out some of the deficiencies of the team. What is a sign of optimism? What is something that Packers fans should be optimistic about? Oh, there goes a golf ball just flying into one of those targets here at AmFam Field. Squirrel! What is something that Packers fans should be optimistic about headed into the second half of this season?
What is Tausch hosting this show? That's the kind of stuff he does.
Well, and they're glowing. They've got the LED lights on the targets, and I'm seeing orange and neon green balls now flying from these bay areas they've got situated around AmFam Field. But I'm sorry, I digress. What is something that people should be optimistic about?
Well, I think the biggest thing that they should be optimistic about is that they're sitting at 6-3, and they have not come. I mean, I guess the Arizona game was their most complete game, right?
Yeah.
But and I have, Tausch is all over me because I said Arizona's bad and now they're leading the division. I still think they're bad. But it doesn't mean that they're
just
good.
because the rest of the division is bad doesn't mean they're good.
Right. So I think the biggest positive, and there are others, right? Like Josh Jacobs has been everything they could have possibly wanted. I don't think that there has been a huge jump from a lot of players from what I was expecting from them, especially guys that are in year two. But like Jaden Reed is a little bit better, right? But he's kind of what I expected. I was going through this with Homer last night. Tucker Kraft has made a great jump, but if you were paying attention during the second half of last season, again, this doesn't surprise you that he has turned into the player he has. But so those are all positives too. And I love what Jacobs has done. There is no bigger Aaron Jones stand from the player he is to the teammate he is to the guy he was with us in the media. I mean, I never had a Favre moment with him, but they upgraded. It pains me to say that, but they did. So there's lots of positives. But to me, the biggest one is that they're sitting at 6-3, and I don't think they've played that great in the majority of their games. Now, 2 of them, or 2.5 of them, they had to play without Jordan Love, which is another positive that they're sitting here at 6-3 instead of at 3-6 or 4-5. But to me, it's the biggest thing is that there's so much more out in front of them. If they can get Jordan to turn the ball over less, if they can get that front four rushing the passer efficiently without having to send extra people or fake sending other people, I think there's a lot of really good things on the horizon for them.
Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. Oh, go ahead, Chew.
Jason, on the injury front, how is Musgrave progressing, and do we expect Jair to miss more time?
I would certainly hope that Jair, after a bye week, would be back. Again, I cite Rob Domofsky's report that they didn't find anything structurally wrong with his knee. So I don't know if he just had swelling or whatever it would have been, or if it's a bone bruise. I don't know, and I did not get to talk to Jair last week. As far as Musgrave, as we know, he had the ankle surgery. Someone mentioned on Monday that after the game they had seen a scooter, one of those like knee scooters, in front of his locker. LaFleur did not express, he said hopefully, he did not express confidently that Musgrave would play this year again, so they're hoping that he will. So I don't think he's in probably a great place for that, and it's probably a low percentage that he plays. Maybe he's back. Maybe he's back for the postseason. Again, I don't know what he would look like if he goes in there because, look at where his snap counts were. Look at what his role was. Like, there's a guy that I think before he got hurt, they were really challenging to say, hey, you were kind of the guy when you got here, and now the other guy is moved not just past you, but appreciably past you. How are you going to respond? And then obviously he's hurt. So I don't know what they'll get from him, if anything, down the stretch of the season.
Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us. I bet you know what I'm going to say next. We'll talk to you again
Take care, be good.
soon. Well, that's your line. I would never steal your line. Have a great one, Jason.
Have a great one, Jen. Bye.
He's Jason Wilde. You can hear him on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every day on ESPN Milwaukee, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Okay, I want to get to that because Joshy made a great point on the show sheet. There has been an air of negativity, right? That'll happen when you lose to the Lions, when you lose to the Vikings, when you're in third place in the NFC North, even with people saying that it might be the best division in all of football. And yet, there are things to be optimistic about. We will dive into those right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Tune into Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks dives deep into Bucks in 6, a culture unknowingly created by former Bucs star Brandon Jennings. Take a look inside the Brandon Jennings story, the origin of Bucks in 6, how it became a rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Find Behind the Bucks on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we got backups eastbound 94 from 92nd Street through the Stadium interchange. Southbound 41's heavy from Hampton to Capitol, and then again right around the North Avenue curve to about Mayfair Road. Southbound on 43 slowing down from before Hampton down to Capitol there. And we still have the off-ramp to National Avenue from 4394 northbound closed, as is the ramp from 9th and Mineral to northbound 4394 closed because of an incident, death investigation in that area. So you want to be extra careful as you're heading through that area. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly sunny, a high of 57. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 41 at the lake, 35 inland. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods. Now through Wednesday, save on 1.1 to 2 ounce McCormick Pure Vanilla Extract or Ground Nutmeg, $3.99. 12-pack can Selected Varieties Super Chill Soda, $4.79. 12.5 to 20 ounce Selected Varieties Rana Pasta or Sauce, $5.99. 10 to 13 ounce Selected Varieties Marie Calendar Bowls or Pot Pies, 2 for $4.
And now time for the big reveal: free groceries.
That's too over the top. Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
After a series of meetings with the James Imaging Systems sales rep, Matheson Manufacturing chose document imaging technology from James. Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leininger.
They have a reputation out in the field. They've been around for a long time. I was really impressed with it.
I also understand you're impressed with the document imaging technology.
Yes, it's quicker, it's faster. We can do a lot more with the copy functions.
James Imaging Systems, better document imaging technology, better support, even lower printing costs.
Yes, definitely. I think the lease is very cost effective for us. It certainly helps with cash flow, and it's just good.
Al, anything else you'd like to add about your experience with James Imaging Systems?
Yes, James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Start your business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems today. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you ready to unleash the beast?
Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But she doesn't know. Every now and then, I got the blammer coming up and I'll let you use my tractor for 2 of the blue things. Which I think's a pretty good deal. Which gets me in trouble.
You got a Viagra ring?
Yeah.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, live from AmFam Field, where the Upper Deck golf folks have made their way here to Milwaukee. And all weekend long, you can get out here and you can take some shots from the tee boxes that they have situated all over the stadium. I can only see 4 targets from where I'm sitting, but Gabe, you said there are 9 down there in the outfield of AmFam Field for people to take aim at.
Yep, and then they've got 9 different stations all throughout the stadium. For example, that Miller Lite deck that they have, that's hole number 1. And then you're walking all around the stadium to go to different teeing grounds that they have. A few up in the Loge level, a couple in the club level as well. Should be a fun experience. UpperDeckGolfing.com/American Family Field. Book your tee time for today, tomorrow, or Saturday.
Excellent. So we just talked to Jason Wilde a few moments ago, and the last thing we asked him was, what are some things that Packers fans can be optimistic about headed into the second half of the season? It is a 6-3 football team, Chew, and obviously, there have been issues, some of it self-inflicted errors that have led to some of their challenges, and yet there are things that we should be positive about with this team. What jumps out to you as something that Packers fans can hang their hat on in the second half of the season?
Last year they turned it on, got hot at the right time, and they got pretty far into the playoffs. That's a positive thing. They have the ability to do it. They're just not. They're just not playing clean football right now. They're not playing team football, and I don't know if that's Jordan Love because he's not having quite the year he did at the end of last year. So I think that's a positive. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to go because I always want to go negative because that's how I was conditioned. But
I think
it's
the
in
offensive
them.
line.
They just got to get it out, And I'm talking LaFleur too because LaFleur has had some game plans that I thought weren't great. So hopefully they recharge after the bye week. They got a tough part of their schedule, and they're going to have to beat some good teams because to this point they haven't. They've lost to 3 good teams. And they've beaten 1 good team. That's how I look at it. Houston is their hang their hat.
But they have to get it out. That's what I say to my children when they're having a tough time going potty, guys. So are the Packers constipated? Is that what you're getting at there, Chew? I mean, it's in there, but they have to get it out.
They got to get them some X-Lax during the bye.
No, Gabe, you can't give Kip. You give them prune juice. That's what my mother and prune juice is nasty.
I'm not talking about the kids. I'm talking about the Packers. Come on, man.
Well, my mother
bringing it
still
back
drinks
to the
prune
Packers.
juice.
I wasn't giving Jen parental advice. I can't do that. I am not a parent.
And I wouldn't take
Well, what works for you?
for whatever it's worth. The gentleman who famously told his child to look away when they had a zanger on their face because it was making it hard for him to eat. Gabe, what are some things we can be optimistic about headed into the second half of the season?
Well, outside of Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney, obviously, because I think those guys have played at a Pro Bowl, if not all pro level. I really like what the offensive line has done. Outside of the botched snaps from Elton Jenkins, which I'm willing to look past because he's playing out of position on a rainy day, right? When he's at guard, he's fantastic. Jason said he's expecting Josh Myers to be back after the bye. I think that group has played really well. They've done a pretty good job of keeping Jordan Love clean. They've opened up good enough holes for Josh Jacobs. So that's, to me, that's the bedrock of, okay, that's something you can build off of. Now, because you have that, you can hopefully have the rest of the offense click into place, whether that's the passing or running game.
I think you got to be optimistic about the improvement in special teams, if nothing other than Brandon McManus being there. Now, obviously, that was something that was hanging around their head. You didn't feel comfortable sending your kicking team out onto the field early in the season. They were able to go out, get a guy, Goody, admitting his mistakes for the guys that he had. And that has been, save the one miss, I believe, that McManus had, that's been pretty consistent. So that makes me feel more confident headed into the second half of the season, Shu, that if they find themselves in those win it off the foot situations, they will be able to win it with this new guy.
So I go by position group, right? Josh Jacobs is playing outstanding. Jordan Love has to play better. Offensive line, I think, overachieving, playing great. Receiving group, not great, Bob.
Need more.
Not great, Bob.
Other than Jaden Reed.
Tight end, yeah. Tight end playing great. Defensive line, Gabe, I'm resigned to that's what they are. That's what they are.
It is what it is.
Linebackers are trending in the right direction. Trending in the right direction. I think with each game they're going to get better and better and better. And then the defensive backfield, your safeties are solid as ever. And the corners they need to play better. So, yes, there are important position groups that have that in them, but they got to find a way to get it out.
The problem with the defensive backfield to me is I'm comfortable with the defensive backfield when healthy. To me, there's not a lot of depth there outside of safety. You feel good about Evan Williams and Bullard and obviously McKinney, and then Bullard's on the field as a corner as the slot guy when you go to your nickel. But we saw what happened when he's out, when Jair's out. There's just not a lot of depth there. You have one injury, and it just kind of sends everybody else shuffling. That doesn't make me feel great. But when healthy, I actually feel pretty decent about the defensive backfield. This is
an optimistic segment, Shu, so I probably shouldn't say this, but when has that stopped me ever before? I was reading a stat this morning that said that opposing quarterbacks have a 114 passer rating when throwing towards Nixon and Stokes. It's like they are some of the worst as far as what they are allowing in targets and completions in the league at their position. So, again, the conversation that I was reading about was how does Goody regret, trading away Rasul Douglas, because you could certainly use the depth at that position. Doesn't really fit with the reasons for optimism in the second half of the season.
And somehow I'm Johnny Raincloud.
But I did feel like it was an important
Johnny Raincloud when she's the one who goes negative during the optimistic segment.
I did think it was important for that perspective to be in there, just from a reality standpoint.
Let's be optimistic. Well, Jair, you better be healthy because Nixon and Stokes suck.
Are giving up completions at an alarming rate.
Gabe, we looked at it yesterday on All 22, and Keyshawn is
that's a good point.
there.
Tip of the cap to you, sir.
He nailed it. He didn't even hesitate.
He's there. He's just one step behind. If you look at the play in Jacksonville, that great catch, I forget who the receiver was. It was a corner route. He's there, but you're one step behind. So the coaching staff or the DB coaches have to get him to where he's not one step behind, because when you go against great receivers, which he does a lot of times, you can't be one step behind. You're there, you're there, but you just got to be a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, again, that goes back to the health thing, because the play that we looked at, which is available right now on ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube page, we do it each and every week after a Packers game. If Jair's on him there, I feel better, right? Because that was Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown's made a lot of people look bad, and that's where it comes to me, I'm curious what those Nixon stats are when he's going up against a second receiver. right? Because if Jair's on the top guy, I feel better about Nixon in coverage against that guy who's the number 2.
It's fair.
Yeah, and there's when you play good teams have a solid number 2. Like Philly, solid number 2. When Jamison comes back for Detroit, solid number 2. Addison, solid number 2.
Yeah.
When you're playing against teams that don't have a solid number 2, yes, then he's not going to be one step behind. Arizona, I mean, what do you think of Keenan Allen? Is Keenan Allen Nixon on Keenan Allen?
The Bears have good.
Feel?
Yeah. When DJ Moore isn't walking off the field in the middle of a play, the Bears have a pretty solid receiving core.
Yeah. Like I said, it's there. They just got to get it out of
It's
them.
true, Ashton. I don't know what your problem is. I just said a factual statement about the Bears and their top wide receiver. He walked off the play. He walked off the field in the middle of a play.
Quit.
It's a true thing. Did you see that, Shu?
I didn't, but I heard about it. It's kind of funny, but kind of not.
His quarterback's scrambling away, and it's like his controller turned off. He's playing Madden, and the controller, he just kind of drifted. Just started walking toward the bench.
We got to take a break
that
here
on the
Jen,
show,
Gabe, and Chewy. You see how I wanted to pivot away from it as fast as possible so you didn't get any ideas about how the rest of the show should go? We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I am seeing the Bays out in center field. I guess not center field, but it's behind home plate, but center to where we are looking right now. Starting to fill up. I'm seeing people out there who are going to start taking some shots at these targets here. This is sort of a media day here, right?
No, it's open.
Oh, it's wide open.
Yeah, it's going to be tee time starting today. Again, book your tee time, upperdeckgolfing.com/American Family Field. Couple of different tee times, a standard tee time, VIP tee time. You can check that out on the website, the difference between the two. But it is going to be open for business today, tomorrow, and Saturday.
Got it. So that's what it was. I knew it was 3 days. I thought it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it is, in fact, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. See, that's why they shouldn't let me lead. That's why they shouldn't let me be the Pied Piper. I'm going to drive people right into the river. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Roll on right after this. Guys, if you are saving for tomorrow, you should do it at Great Midwest Bank. They are here to help you make every dollar count towards your future. Looking to grow your emergency fund, maybe save for a big purchase, or plan for retirement? Great Midwest Bank offers a range of deposit accounts designed with your goals in mind. From high-yield savings account that will help your money grow faster to secure CDs for peace of mind and steady returns. Visit GreatMidwestBank.com today to explore your options and see how they can help you get one step closer to your financial goals. That's GreatMidwestBank.com.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Gabe Nigel here. I know you've already heard me talking about how Mentality has helped me over the years, but there are others like me. Jason has been using Mentality for a while now and is loving the results.
I have gotten a handful of friends, probably a couple dozen, especially those that are closer to my age, maybe even a little bit older, because I just tell them, you got to check this out. Do not wait any longer. Just go and admit it. Yep, you're at an age where things are slowing down. I promise you, you're not going to regret it, and that's truly what I get. I'll get a phone call after, like, man, I feel like a kid at Chuck E. Cheese right now.
Learn more today at lowtusa.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as, bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Harry Douglas here, and if you're constantly on the go like I am, then earbuds are a priority. That's why you need Technique's new noise-canceling AZ80s. Like you, these buds work as hard as they play. You'll get Technique's legendary high-res audio, along with state-of-the-art noise cancellation, so you can stay in your zone. Visit us.techniques.com/sports to shop for AZ80s now. That's us.technics.com/sports.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Did you know that fact, though?
No, I didn't.
You didn't know that fact?
Is that just a fact, Brig?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Chewy does. Chewy knows the most facts of anyone on the show.
He also knows the most fiction.
On 94.5 ESPN.
AmFam Field for the Upper Deck golf event that is taking place this weekend. I've seen people starting to fill some of the bays over there, and we are joined by Andy Barrett, who is the pro here at X Golf of AmFam Field. Andy, thank you so much for joining us. How did this all come about? Did they reach out to you? Do you guys reach out to them? How did this partnership come about?
Well, we have two amazing ladies that work here, Chelsea and Jackie, and they kind of came up with this, and they've been working on this for a long time to kind of make this day happen, and now it's here. They're both excited. They're both running around, and it's a pretty cool event. I'm not going to take any credit. It's those two ladies.
But have you had an opportunity to go to the different team grounds? Have you hit any shots out there?
I walked around a little bit out there, and we're going to do a little bit later today, do a little social media promo out there, and it's going to be fun with Chelsea, who's not the biggest golfer, so I think we'll get some laughs in, and with some of the shots I'm seeing out here that are going into dugouts, I don't think we'll feel too bad about how we perform out there.
Oh, yeah, there'll be plenty of people who don't know what they're doing. They did just open up the roof here. And while it's a little chilly, a little crisp this morning, a November morning, as you'd expect in Wisconsin, it is beautiful. What a scene. This is so how has the reception been? When folks are interested, they're checking out the website, do you feel like you're going to have a pretty good turnout this weekend?
I think the Fridays, definitely Saturday night. I'm curious about what the night's going to bring with the light on the field and the lasers and lighting up and all that kind of stuff during the day. Thursday, we really don't know. We've never done something like this before, so we're kind of, for us, our staff here, we're figuring out as we go. The Upper Deck staff, they know exactly what's going to happen, but we're kind of waiting and see how it happens and see how the night brings. But yeah, it gets busier and busier as time goes on, and I'm looking forward to getting out there and trying it.
Book your tee time, upperdeckgolfing.com/American Family Field to check out the great event they've got going here today, Friday, and Saturday, where you can go around hitting different golf shots here at American Family Field. But we mentioned X Golf, and we're getting close to that time, Andy. I love this space. I know you love this space, but this is a great space for anybody looking to book a holiday party.
It's a utopia of holiday parties here. We can configure it however we want. We get parties here. We get people touring the place for potential parties, and they seem to if the date's available, they tend to book and come back the next year. It's a great place for a holiday party. Even if you're a non-golfer, everyone feels comfortable here. You can hit one swing, no swings, 100 swings. You got the great view, great food. It works great for those parties.
Andy Barrett of X Golf at AmFam Field joining us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. All right, let's talk about it for real because we've had a wonderful fall. It has not been too chilly. Gabe, I believe, has a tee time on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. So I was trying to play with Andy on Friday, but he's busy. Apparently something's going on.
Something's going on.
Yeah. Responsibility stinks, you know.
But this to me is brilliant, the X Golf location being here to utilize this gorgeous space we have in Milwaukee year round. How has, Gabe was saying, 2 years now you guys have been open. How has the response been from the golfing community around southeastern Wisconsin to get out here and utilize the AmFam X Golf partnership in the cold winter months in Wisconsin?
Well, I think indoor golf simulation is a booming industry to begin with. It's kind of like bowling during the winter and you golf during the summer. Here you can golf year-round, so it kind of keeps your game sharp. I think back in the day, come snow, you put the clubs away and you don't swing the golf club until the spring comes. That's no longer the case, and I think people are very attracted to that option of playing league here, playing in events here, or just playing in general, eating some food, drinking, socializing, seeing your friend, making a weekly thing of it. And it works. It kind of fills the winter time. So the reception is great. And not just here, at all of the X Golfs too. In here, we're a party central and daily rounds, all that kind of stuff. So it's been great. So going into year two, we're constantly getting busier. I do hear a lot of people saying, gosh, I didn't know this was here. But as time goes on, I don't hear that as much anymore.
Well, and the one thing with the simulators, especially during the winter, people want to make swing changes. And now's the time. Get a lesson from you. Come out, use the simulator, use the technology available to help get better. So then when you get to the spring, you're feeling pretty good.
You're 100% right. And I'm kind of on the fence on that one. That will usually be my position, change your swing in the winter and get ready for the spring. But people compete during the winter too now. We have WSGA events here, that we're competing, or league competing, or we're going to be even putting more events here, whether it be a couples event or, two golfers event where they can come here and play there. So we're doing events and competition. So now I'm thinking, well, if you're changing your swing, you're still going to have to compete a little bit. So when is the perfect time to kind of do that overhaul if you feel like you need one of those? Winter probably still is the best time to do it, but there's a lot of competition going on here, and you'll see more promotions about that coming up.
Andy Barrett of X Golf joining us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Speaking of competition, I would be remiss if I didn't pit the two of you somehow against each other in some sort of golf competition here with the fantastic upper deck circles sitting out there in the outfield. Is there a hole? Is there a target that you guys are willing to, from these bays right next to us, say that you can hit versus the other person? Come on, you guys. Get that competitive spirit. Get it going here.
I mean, if you want me to take money off of Andy, I can take money off of Andy.
Well, hey, just remember, there's no strokes given on in this place, okay? So it's not like outside game, This is even Steven in here. You don't get your
strokes are always negotiable.
You don't get your pops out there.
So
they are negotiable, but we just settled that negotiation, didn't we?
So what do we think? Do we like the yellow flag out there? Do we like the red flag, the blue flag? Which one of those? And you can see it if you're watching on our YouTube stream. We have turned the camera so that you can see the setup here at AmFam Field for the upper deck golf event. Should we pick one of the targets and say who gets closest to the pin?
Yeah,
we could do something like that. And I think there's a lot of people here, they just hit hoping it ends up in one of the circles. Not really where they're going. But we can have an exact target if you want. Sure.
Yeah, we'll pick a target. We can do it a little closer to the pin action.
All right, we will do it today, and we will throw it up on our social media account as a way of also promoting what is going on out here and a way of promoting our great host, X Golf, here at AmFam Field. Andy, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. It is beautiful, stunning. I know you handled all of the design.
Yeah. Put my name on that, please. Yes.
No, it is really a great looking space. It's very comfortable. And of course, if you are looking for a spot this winter to continue evolving your golf game, why not come out to AmFam?
Is this your first time here?
This is my first time here.
What took you so long?
Yeah. Great question.
We'll save that for the next segment.
I was going to say probably the
the
college football responsibilities, the 3 children, the radio show. I don't know. I'm just
3 children, not 4.
Hey, there was a time where I would have said 4.
All right.
We're all grown.
Well, welcome
here.
and come
Thank
back
you.
again.
I appreciate
Thank you.
that. Andy Barrett from X Golf here at AmFam Field, hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. We will figure out which target Andy and Gabe are going to compete closest to the pin today at AmFam Field.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We do still have the closures on the 9th Street on-ramp to 4394 northbound. That ramp is closed. And the off-ramp to National Avenue from northbound 4394, all because of a death investigation in that area. Delays all the way back around the Plainfield curve. Southbound on 43, backing up from Silver Spring to Capitol. Westbound 94, heavy from 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side, heavy from 92nd Street all the way to 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly sunny, a high of 57. Tonight, mostly clear, low 41 at the lake, 35 inland. Weather is brought to you by IKEA Oak Creek's Fall Customer Appreciation Days. They're November 8th to the 11th. Save 15% on $150 plus and get mystery cards this Saturday at IKEA Oak Creek. Don't miss out. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Staying healthy isn't easy, especially here in Wisconsin with all that game day cheese. Brad Nortman here from Kyle Bruston Nortman. Between work, family, and life, managing nutrition and fitness can feel overwhelming. Trust me, I know. Quintessa in Brookfield has all the answers. As a member of their wellness membership, I have access to the Quintessa Nutrition app with customized meal plans, grocery lists, and a food tracker that keeps me on track to meet my fitness goals. Members also get 10% off all other wellness services. Take charge of your health. Visit myquintessa.com/wellness.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Your District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by MJ's TV partner, Lisa Byington. Find Your District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Bruston Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
All right, we've got that drop. You know the one. The one about Chewy being right and whatnot. I don't know that he's done anything right now to deserve the drop, but I'm using it as a point of reference because...
That's the stuff I'm supposed to get?
Yes, sir.
Why are they wearing those funny suits?
Well, they're protective, as you know. That's a very corrosive byproduct they're handling.
Oh, yeah. Because if they didn't wear those suits, those boys would be so full of holes, they'd whistle when they walk.
I was... Gabe, help me out here.
Well, it appears that you have your facts wrong, Mr. Gantry. Your company is supposed to get 1,500 gallons. Destination someplace called Belle Isle in Louisiana. Signed for by an officer of your company and due the 23rd.
I believe the word you're searching for is wrong.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, wrong. You are not right. You are incorrect.
You in front of wrong, Dave.
So we're right and you're wrong.
Let me see that. Takes a big man to admit when he's wrong. I am not a big man.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like
back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, live from AmFam Field as we are teeing off the Upper Deck Golf event happening here. 9 targets on the field, 9 bays around the concourses, and you can take aim at those targets all weekend long. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We just talked to Andy Barrett here from X Golf. He was telling us kind of how it came about. If you missed any of of that conversation, you can find it on Wisconsin On Demand. Gabe, remind people of what the website is if they are interested in participating in the Upper Deck Golf event out here.
UpperDeckGolfing.com/American Family Field. You can book your tee time for today, tomorrow, or for Saturday. Different tee times. You can check out the difference between the standard and VIP tee times on the website.
Now, we did talk about the Preston Smith request for a trade in the first hour of the show. You can go back and find our comments on that on Wisconsin On Demand. Gabe basically saying, like, good on Goody for not revealing that when he stepped in front of the audience. He stepped in front of the media to the podium the other day, kind of let Preston do that himself. He did, in fact, do that via ESPN.com, and it sort of makes more sense now why they would have offloaded Preston Smith at this point in the season. So I want to turn to the second half of the season now, guys, and Wilde and Tausch do that thing called bold predictions. It's where I said that I thought the Packers would win all of their division games and was very, very incorrect about that, as they have lost both division games so far this season. But I want to kind of do a round-robin, quick-hitter type of segment here with you, Chew. We're going to go around. I'm going to ask you guys a bunch of questions that Joshy has written here about the second half of the season. Give us your quick thoughts, and we'll kind of bat this thing around. You ready?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Will Jordan Love have another great second half of football like he did last season?
Chewy?
Gabe? No.
I think he's going to be better in the second half. I don't think he's going to be able to
Yes.
repeat the numbers he had a year ago. I mean, what he did a year ago was absolutely insane. What was it, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception? I think he's going to – I think the turnovers are going to be an issue for the remainder of the season. I think he's going to clean it up a little bit, but I think he'll throw more than 1 interception. I don't think he'd be quite as good, but he will be better, I think, in the second half.
Yeah, and I think that that's an interesting metric to point to is I think he will be better. That doesn't mean that the interceptions will be fewer. I think you can throw interceptions and not be penalized for them. Some of them have been back-breaking. Some of them have been such bad decisions that they have hurt the team on the scoreboard and in the end result. So you can still throw interceptions. I don't want a lot of them, but I would prefer for them to be the kind that it's not that big of a deal. And just the way he's been playing with a little more aggressiveness, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if he throws more interceptions in the second half, but still has a better second half productively than the first half of the season.
Under 14 and a half interceptions on the season for him. He's at 10 right now. 10? 10 right now. Under 14 and a half.
They got some good defenses coming up. I'm going to say over, but not too far over.
I'll go under 14.
Okay.
Under, sitting at 14.
All right.
Got 4 more in him in the second half of the season. Will the defense continue to their red-hot turnover streak? I believe, did I see 19 takeaways for the defense? Is that right? Chew?
Yes, they will continue their red-hot. My guess is they'll finish near the top of the NFL in takeovers, which is very important.
Takeovers.
Because that's the strength of the team. Just imagine how many more turnovers they would have with a D-line that was pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to have some opportunities. They play the Bears twice with a young quarterback. Should have opportunities there. Even though the Vikings have been so good, their quarterback and Sam Darnold's turned the ball over a ton. I think they're going to have a lot of opportunities down the stretch to still create those turnovers. I think that's going to continue.
Packers defense has 19 takeaways, including multiple takeaways in 7 of 9 games. They, of course, can be sporadic. They've had 0 in 2 of the last 3 games. That, according to PackersWire.com. That is a USA Today publication. Will the defense continue the hot streak? I think I agree with the article. It's fluky. There will be teams, as you guys said, where they will have more opportunity to take the ball away, and I wish that there was more pressure up front. I think Xavier McKinney will still get, I'll throw it out there, I got 4 interceptions for Xavier McKinney at least in the final half of the season because he is such an opportunistic, nose to the football kind of guy, and I think Hafley will keep moving him around and putting him in positions to make those plays. Number 3, what seed will the Packers be in the NFC? Chew.
6. They will be a wild card team. Yes.
Yeah, I've got them as the 6th team as well. I think Philadelphia will be that first wild card. I think the Packers will be the second. That loss, I think, is ultimately going to hurt them in some sort of tiebreaker with Philly. I think they'll be a wild card team in the 6th team.
It's an excellent point, the tiebreaker with Philly, not something I had considered. But yes, as Philly, the second team in their division, will likely get the top wild card spot. I could see them falling to 7, to be perfectly honest with you, Chew. It's not as though you can't make a run from those spots. We, of course, have seen that happen with the Packers team in 2010, 2011. I've got them at 7. And again, not a bad thing, but I think some of these losses are going to come back and bite them in the ass down the stretch. Next question on Joshy's list here. Will McKinney win Defensive Player of the Year?
So it's between him and who?
Probably
Watt?
some of those pass rushers.
Yeah.
Yeah, TJ Watt is the
if he gets, how many interceptions does he have right now? 6?
6.
If he gets to 9, I will say yes, he will be Defensive Player of the Year, and deservedly so.
I think he needs double-digit interceptions. I mean, Charles Woodson won Defensive Player of the Year with 9 interceptions, but he had multiple returns for touchdowns as well. So he was taking those turnovers, turning them into points himself. I think it's really hard for a defensive back to win it. I mean, you've got a lot of great defenders out there. Josh mentioned T.J. Watt. Trey Hendrickson has 11 sacks right now. I think it's just going to be too hard for a defensive back to win, so I'm going to say no to McKinney winning Defensive Player of the Year.
I think the road is too steep. I think there's just so much attention on those guys who get to the quarterback and get sacks. TJ Watt is somebody you mentioned, but there are other guys in the league as well who that's their bread and butter. I love McKinney. I love the addition of him to the team. I just said a moment ago I could see him getting 4 more interceptions. You know what? I'll go against the grain here, guys. I'll say yes. I'll say Xavier McKinney wins Defensive Player of the Year because he is the star on the Packers defense, and they will be a playoff team. Will Matt LaFleur win Coach of the Year?
No, he will
I don't
not.
see that
I mean, it smells of Dan Campbell, even Minnesota, who no one thought they were going to be this good. No.
Yeah, I think Tomlin's got a chance at winning it with what Pittsburgh doing, especially if they end up winning that division. So I think Tomlin's going to be on that list. I think Dan Quinn with what's happening in Washington.
Yeah.
Like when you have a surprise team like we did with Houston last year, DeMeco Ryans ended up winning it. So I think Dan Quinn ends up there if Washington plays this well in the second half. So I think there are a number of coaches that sit ahead of him as well.
Last question for you guys. Who will emerge as the star of the second half, Chew?
Well, I think the star of the first half, I mean, I would give the nod right now to Josh Jacobs because he's been outstanding. I would say, I'd like it to be Jordan Love, but I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Reed. I think he's going to really separate himself from the pack, from the group of receivers, and I think he's going to have an outstanding second half of the season.
I'm taking the chalk, and mostly because I think it has to happen. If the Packers want to have a realistic chance at making a deep run at the Super Bowl, it has to be Jordan Love.
Oh, and I thought you were going to say Josh Jacobs.
No.
You start talking about NFC North football, you start talking about having to run the ball more in the second half. We'd like to see him be a little more productive. They would like to be a little bit more balanced. That's when they've had success. I think Josh Jacobs has to be the emerging star of this offense in order for this team to be a real threat for the NFC title game. So that was interesting there. So we had Jaden Reed, Jordan Love, and Josh Jacobs as all candidates for who will be the emerging star. Nobody on defense, though. So I guess we talked about Xavier McKinney as Defensive Player of the Year. Edgerrin Cooper as a potential. Go ahead, Joshy.
I just think he's going to play more. He's going to be forcing himself, and he just makes plays everywhere he goes. Goody called him a natural playmaker, and we've seen it, and he's barely played what he should be playing at this point. And if he figures it out and stops making mistakes, that could change sort of the face of that defense.
Let's put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. I really like that question. Who will emerge as the star of the second half? These are all offensive options, but I do think they are good options. I'd be curious to see where the loyal listeners stand on that one. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Gabe has his top 8 at 8 list coming up next. We are live at AmFam Field for the Upper Deck event that is going on all weekend long. Gabe, the website for that, once again, for more information is
upperdeckgolfing.com/American Family Field.
You guys have heard me talk about Professional Construction Inc. over the years. Guys, we just had a few people over the other night for a little election day celebration for the sports department. Everyone wanted to see our finished basement that PCI finished for us, and they couldn't say enough good things about it. If you are in the market for a remodeling project, a home addition, or maybe you're thinking about building a new home, PCI's team is here for you the same way they were here for us. It's a family-owned company. They believe in building relationships and doing exceptional work on your projects. You can learn more about PCI, what they can do, what they have done at their website, professionalconstructioninc.com. That's professionalconstructioninc.com. And tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We do still have some issues going on 94 southbound, south of the Mitchell Interchange. Left lane is blocked because of a broken down vehicle. So watch out for that. We've also got the ramps from 4394 northbound to National Avenue closed, and the ramp from 9th and Mineral to northbound 4394 closed because of a death investigation. So try and avoid those areas. Still seeing some delays around the Plainfield curve all the way up past Lapham. Eastbound 94 heavy from 84th Street through the Stadium interchange, and southbound 43 is going to be backed up from Silver Spring all the way down to Capitol Drive. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 57. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 41 at the lake, 35 inland. Weather is brought to you by the Corners of Brookfield. Head to the Corners for all of your gifting needs and find something for everyone at any of their 30-plus restaurants and retailers. thecornersofbrookfield.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Come to Kessler's and be greeted by an owner of the store.
We're America's largest employee-owned jewelry company.
Okay, but as a customer, what does that mean to me?
For one thing, it means you get to see every possible diamond choice.
Kessler's has diamonds from diamond mines and created diamonds from plasma chambers.
You can choose from 1,400 loose diamonds.
And every style of engagement ring ever designed.
Okay, I'm convinced.
And no other store can show you a Kessler 81.
With 81 facets instead of just 57, it wins the Sparkle contest every time.
I'm convinced.
And no other store has the Kessler Princess Cut.
Or the exclusive Kessler's Emerald Cut or Kessler's Square Radiant Diamond.
I give up.
And when you want to tell her that you love her twice as much today as the day you married her.
Kessler's has big anniversary diamonds that can be twice as big as the one in her engagement ring.
Kessler's is unique in all the world.
So what do you say to all that, Sarah?
Welcome to Kessler's.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Preston Nortman. I love this time of year. Playoff baseball, the start of hoop season, and of course, football. I'm all about watching the action on the gridiron with a carbless in my hand. Premium, ready-to-drink cocktails with no malt, no carbs, and no sugar. Vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, black raspberry, and lemon lime, and classic cocktail flavors like Paloma or Margarita. Find Carbless at your local grocer and enjoy game day. Carbless. Less is more.
Hi, it's John Reitz. Are you looking for a local bank that really understands you? At Great Midwest Bank, we know Wisconsin because we've been serving the state for nearly 90 years. Most of our coworkers have lived here their entire lives, with a vested interest in better serving your mortgage lending or checking and savings needs. Check out our new lineup of common sense, fee-friendly deposit products at greatmidwestbank.com. We're all the bank you'll ever need. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender and member FDIC.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Though, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like a, oof, like just, instead of a, huh.
Yeah. But that's all part of taking the training law.
I do, but it's just such funny noises.
Did this get sexual or something? I don't know about it. What the hell just happened?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I know I always am, especially during my very busy college football season. Well, AccuTrans is a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. I'm sure you've got a holiday party coming up in the next few weeks. Wouldn't you rather have someone do the driving for you? AccuTrans Group caters to every single occasion. Booking is easy, safe, and reliable. Just visit their website, AccuTransGroup.com, to get a quote or book a reservation today. That's AccuTransGroup.com, the only group I use for reliable and safe transportation.
The top 8 at 8.
Name something that follows the word pork. You pie. Huh?
One category.
Name something people take with them to the beach. Turkey.
The top 8 answers.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8.
A food often stuffed. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken. Oh my God.
Show me chicken.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What do we got, Gabe?
Well, we have a list of 8 things in front of me. You and Chewy guess back and forth. Once you each get one incorrect, we open it up to the fans. 800-990-3776. Let's go ahead and start getting people ready to go. 800-990-3776. Last week.
That is so insulting.
Oh, because you guys were so good last
before the segment even starts, you need to get people on the line, please.
Yeah, because you guys don't get up last week. You guys, I still smell how bad you guys were from a week ago.
That's just because I worked out yesterday and didn't take a shower. Sorry about that. I didn't know we'd be sitting this close to each
that's
other.
Fair. Simple list today. We have the top, since 1992, the top 8 teams with the most wins in the NFL. Since 1992, most wins in the NFL.
Okay. Packers got to be on this list somewhere, right, Chew?
Yep.
Packers are on this list.
Packers are tied for number 1.
Whoa. Okay.
Good 329 wins since 1992.
All right. How about the New England Patriots and all of the titles and championships that they have won since 1992?
You just playing by yourself now?
Oh. I thought that was his guess.
That was your guess.
I thought it was his guess.
He didn't even say anything.
Save it.
Sorry,
Save it. Save it, because I'm not going with the Patriots. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs.
They are number 4 on the list. The Chiefs have 306 wins since 1992.
Patriots?
Are tied with the Packers for that number 1 spot.
How many wins do they have again?
329.
Wow.
Since 1992.
Let's go with A.O. Brian D. Buffalo.
The Buffalo Bills with 269 wins, number 13 on the list since 1992.
Okay, so Buffalo, no. 1992. Why are you saying easy?
I mean, now we're stalling. After being offended so early, you are now...
I mean, can we do a celebrity show? Hey, guys, it's Ashton. Can we do a celebrity one?
Yeah, celebrity guess.
Did anyone guess Steelers?
The Pittsburgh Steelers are number
Easy.
3
I'm
on
done.
the
Goodbye.
list.
You're welcome.
328, so they're just one behind the Packers and Patriots.
Really like how you Costanza'd your way through that thing. One good answer, and I'm out.
All right, we've got the top 4. Packers and Patriots tied at number 1. Most NFL wins since 1992. Steelers are 3, just one behind, and then the Chiefs 4th with 306 wins.
Are the Cowboys on this list?
The Cowboys are number 5 on the list.
Really?
296 wins for the Cowboys since 1992.
Now, I need to know, Chew, do you want to guess again, or are you just going to set the rest of this
No.
one
I'll
up
give you
got
help,
Buffalo
though.
wrong? Yeah, go ahead.
Andy Reid.
Philadelphia Eagles.
The Eagles are number 6 on the list.
Yeah.
294 wins.
See, now I bet you thought I was going to guess the Chiefs for Andy Reid, didn't you? But I've been around the block a few times.
The Chiefs are already
okay.
I know. Yeah, but he didn't know that.
He guessed them.
Doesn't mean he knew it. Okay, how many do we have now?
You have 6. The top 6. Packers, Pats, Steelers, Chiefs, Cowboys, Eagles.
I'm trying to bop around a little bit here. It's feeling...
Need an answer.
It's AFC heavy, huh? Ravens?
The Ravens, with 262 wins, are number 16.
Oh, darn it.
On the list.
800-990-3776. I think we did better than you thought we were going to.
Yeah.
The fact that we got...
Yeah.
How many did we get? 6?
You got 6?
Out of 8.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Well, take back your, let's
I mean, you
open
guys
it
should
up to
run this
colors
list.
at the top.
Johnny Raincloud over here won't even give us credit for the 6 of 8 chew. All right? I mean, am I right? Am I right?
800-990-3776. Let's go to John in Milwaukee. John, can you close out our top 8 list? The teams with the most wins since 1992.
I'm going to try. And thank you, guys. I'm giving you credit. Appreciate you guys for getting all those 6 right.
We'll take it.
All right. How about the Broncos?
The Broncos are number 8 on the list.
Good guess.
289 wins.
Since 1992, that
Since
makes
1992. They've won 3 Super Bowls in that time. They're leaving just number 7.
And, maybe the other team with Peyton Manning, the Colts.
The Indianapolis Colts with 292 wins. They are number 7.
Very good guessing. And that was John, correct?
That was John in Milwaukee.
So John was thrilled that we filled out so many of them for him so he could win.
Where was San Fran? I was going to guess San Fran.
San Fran, number 10 on the list, 282 wins. Behind the Minnesota Vikings.
That's what I was wondering, who number 9 was. Okay, very good list. That was fun. I appreciate that. And congratulations to John, our big winner today on the top 8 at 8. In a shocking development, guys, we are actually on time. We actually did that game very efficiently, clicked right through it, and now we are on time for the show. Now, if I keep talking, that's going to change, but I'm trying to get to a read here before we take a break here. Remember, we are live at AmFam Field celebrating the debut of Upper Deck Golf at AmFam Field. Some of these bays are starting to fill up as folks are taking shots. A lot of little golf balls. Are they going to do the same thing they do at like the driving range where they drive around in the little cart to pick them up?
I don't know, because they're very protective of the turf here at AmFam Field. I don't know if they would just let the range ball picker go through the outfield.
Wow, that's something I definitely want answered. And we will continue to get our questions answered here at AmFam Field, including which of the targets Andy and Gabe are going to compete against each other on today. We will put that on our social media accounts. I got money on Gabe. Just when it comes to golf, I'm sure Andy's very good. He's a pro.
He's a PGA pro.
But
it's pretty good.
But I gotta go with my guy Gabe. 'Tis the season for celebrating at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join them this holiday season for special events that will get you in the festive mood. From a spectacular brunch with Santa to holiday marketplace and a one-of-a-kind dinner and a show experiences, St. Kate has a celebration happening nearly every week throughout the holiday season. You can also make a night of it, guys. If you want to extend the experience, you can book an overnight stay at St. Kate. Special packages are now available to celebrate the holidays with St. Kate. Learn more by visiting stkatearts.com/holidays.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Backups continue along southbound 43 from Silver Spring all the way down to Capitol Drive. On the south side, we have a death investigation going on. So we have the off-ramp from northbound 4394 to National Avenue closed, as is the ramp from 9th and Mineral to northbound 4394 closed as well. We've got eastbound 94 slowing down from 84th Street through the Stadium interchange, with the westbound side tightening up from 35th to Mitchell Boulevard. Crash on 41 northbound right about at Watertown Plank Road is going to be causing some problems. Left shoulder is blocked with this crash. Other than that, we've got a broken down vehicle on westbound 94 just past Highway 100. Up on the right shoulder, shouldn't be causing too much of an issue. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly sunny skies, a high of 57. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 41 at the lake, 35 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel. I've spent a while telling you about Mentality because it works. Not just for me, though. Take it from fellow Mentality user Jason. He's got a new lease on life thanks to Mentality.
Process was easy. It really, truly was. And the individuals that work at Mentality, very helpful, very respectful. It was an easy out. You go in a week after, they give you the results right away. And once you find that you're able to do it, just that thought, the energy already picked up a little bit. Most of it could have been mentally wise, but knowing that, hey, I get to start this, it was incredible.
Learn more today at MoTUSA.com.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouthwatering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here. 'Tis the season for celebrating at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join them this holiday season for special events to get you in the festive mood. From a spectacular brunch with Santa to the holiday marketplace and one-of-a-kind dinner and a show experiences, St. Kate has a celebration happening nearly every week through the holiday season. Make a night of it and extend the experience by booking an overnight stay at St. Kate. Special packages are now available. Celebrate the holidays with St. Kate. Learn more by visiting stkatearts.com/holidays.
Al Leidinger, president of Matheson Manufacturing, needed better document imaging technology rather badly. Then came a James Imaging Systems sales representative to the rescue.
Tammy Oliver actually walked in the door one day and introduced herself and showed us the new features that the Toshiba had compared to our old copier. So we ended up signing up with them.
Now, after the sale, is your James Imaging Systems sales rep's customer service meeting your expectations?
Yes, she still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
James Imaging Systems. Better document imaging technology, better support, amazing people.
There's a true personal relationship, and we've been very happy with them.
Less than happy with your current document imaging vendor? Make the switch to James Imaging Systems. It's easy to do. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How do you get to 10 in NFL in the football game? How do you do that?
You can have 5 safeties.
That's a great point.
Which would also be a great endorsement for Derek Carr.
2 field goals, 2 safeties.
2 field goals, 2
also
safeties.
A great endorsement for the quarterback. Continue.
Yes.
What else do we have?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Spending our morning at AmFam Field celebrating the debut of Upper Deck Golf. You can come on out here. You can rent a bay. There's a lot of them. Staring at a few that are behind home plate. There's some out there on the first baseline, some over here on the third baseline, and of course here in center field where we are situated this morning for Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. For more information, Gabe, remind people the website for Upper Deck Golf.
UpperDeckGolfing.com/American Family Field to book your tee time for today, tomorrow, or Saturday.
Try to keep it pretty easy for you guys so you remember it, even though I have been unable to do so over the last hour and a half of the show.
We'll quiz you. We'll quiz you at the end. See if you can give it out.
UpperDeckGolfing/something American Family Field. I don't know. I think it's something like that. Chewy, we got this thing from Joshy yesterday in the group text talking about the odds to make the Super Bowl. If you had to guess, I'm sure you saw it. If you had to guess who the
50-50.
number one team in the NFC is to make the Super Bowl right now, who would you guess?
I got it. I don't understand it. I would say Kansas City would be number one.
NFC.
Well, what the hell is plus 250, plus 7984632? What?
So if you bet $100, so right now the line. Okay, we'll give away the answer.
NFC.
Yes.
I said the NFC.
So the Lions are the favorite at plus 210. The way the betting works, Chewy, if you bet $100, you would win $210 if the Lions made the Super Bowl.
You want an easier way to do it? Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My guess is Detroit is 1.
Tootsie Roll Owl, can you take it for a bit?
My guess is Detroit is 1, not Kansas
after
City.
Detroit, and there it is. Thank you. In the NFC, who do you think is 2?
I mean, I can't go Minnesota. I'm not buying Washington. 2? Philly? 2?
Philly is number 2 at plus 500 odds. These according to
FanDuel.
FanDuel Sportsbook. Thank you. I didn't know what the FD stood for. You would think somebody like me who does a gambling show would know what FD stands for. But
you've seen it if you watch the Bucs games with FanDuel Sports Network.
Potawatomi Sportsbook, obviously. After that, it is San Francisco at plus 500. Then the, this is surprising to me. Did you see who's in 4th?
I did see who's in 4th.
Wow.
It's shocking to me how far they are ahead of everybody else.
With even odds, it's the Falcons. With even odds to the Washington Commanders, who basically have taken the NFC by storm, who have, delighted many watching Jaden Daniels play. After that, it's the Minnesota Vikings, Chewy, shockingly with the same odds. All the Falcons, the Commanders, and the Vikings all have plus 950 odds to make it to the Super Bowl to win the NFC.
See, I would group all these. I would put Washington, Minnesota, Atlanta, and Green Bay all the same. With Detroit and Philly,
they're mostly the same. The Packers are just a little bit behind according to these. They are plus 1,000. So if you were to bet $100 for the Packers to make the Super Bowl, you would win $1,000.
Why San Francisco love? I mean, where are they at right now? Are they healthy? Are they bored? Where are they at?
They're not very healthy.
They lost Ayuk.
Getting held. Yeah, Ayuk's not coming back. But they are starting.
McCaffrey is coming back soon, right?
Yep, they are starting to get healthier. They've opened up the practice window on McCaffrey, so they're starting to get healthy, and they're only a half game back in the NFC West. So I think the betting markets, Chew, are looking at San Francisco as, okay, they're not that far behind in their division. This is a team that's had a lot of success in the playoffs the last couple of years. They're getting healthier, so therefore, at the end of the year, they're projecting that they're still going to be one of those top teams in the NFC.
I don't think so. I think they will make the playoffs, but I think they're kind of a one and done. I think they're bored, and I think they know that their window is coming to an end. I mean, because you got to pay Purdy. You got to pay Purdy, and you're going to have to pay him a pretty dollar. So you can't. You're going to have to make some cuts in order to sign him, I believe.
Yeah, they've got some aging roster. Yeah, they've got some older players there. But yeah, San Francisco is a really interesting team to me in the NFC. The Packers play them in 3 weeks. The second game coming out of the bye on the 24th. I am going to be wildly interested to see how healthy they are, and I think that's going to be a good measuring stick game for the Packers. Like if the Packers come away victorious in that game, I'm going to look at San Francisco, I think, a little bit differently.
No, it is something to be said that the Packers are in the mix there, Chew, on this list. The odds to make the Super Bowl of the 7 teams, they do have the longest odds listed here. $100, Gabe, would you put $100 down on the Packers? I'm not allowed to bet on the local teams. That is something that you guys have
done it this season. You've broken it.
Well, let me tell you
the word
this.
you were looking
Gabe,
for
let
is
me tell you
admittedly.
Gabe,
how am I supposed to know unless
this.
you tell me that you bet on that?
Gabe.
I feel like I was made see, that gentleman just hit the ball into the target. The target just glowed.
Stop getting distracted.
Hey, we are here at AmFam Field, the upper deck golf, but the guy over there at the bay on the first baseline just hit it into that target, and the target glowed. It went green, 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 which means good, 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 I think.
Gabe.
This is all new to me.
Who could allegedly? That's what it means. Allegedly. That's
Gabe, the fact that
Chewy.
The fact that the Bucs are 1-6, you know the kiss of death is betting on them.
I haven't put a single dollar on them.
She bet. I can't remember what Packer game she bet on. Oh, I think you bet on the Texans game, didn't you?
Well, yeah, because they were minus 3.5, and then they lost by what? Or they won by 2. So, yeah.
But why can't you bet on local teams?
Because she's a jinx. Record betting on the local teams is terrible.
Yes, but college football, very, very good. I'm actually leading the weekly wager crew 6-3. Gabe, would you put $100 down?
I would not.
You wouldn't. You just don't think they're going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
It's going to be a tall task. If I think they're going to be a wild card team, yes, they did it in 2010. But we have to recognize how difficult that is to win 3 games on the road consecutively. And I think there's some pretty good teams that you would have to go through. You know, it's not like you're able to just kind of waltz through some of these teams. You'd have to probably play at Detroit or at San Francisco, at Washington or Philadelphia as the games that you would end up having to play. And those are all really, really good teams. I think they could win a couple of those. I just don't think that they can win 3 games in a row on the road, especially because they've turned the ball over and they've had a lot of penalties. And those things are going to kill you in the postseason on the road.
You know, Chewy, you touched on this recently, the weather in Green Bay and whether or not they still have a home field advantage playing at Lambeau Field. It felt like Brett and company did for all those years, and maybe Rodgers at the beginning of his time in Green Bay as well. But would it be the worst thing in the world to do what that 2010 team did, which was go on the road and play? I mean, famously, the Packers.
There we go.
Combining the Badgers and the Packers together, making a little baby there. No, the Packers played on the road.
I don't want that stink anywhere near the Packers.
Atlanta, and Rodgers famously was very good indoors. You got some indoor teams here on this list, and of course San Francisco, beautiful weather out there in where do they play? Palo Alto, I believe. Is there any incentive to being a lower seed and then going on the road and playing at some of these spots indoors?
With this team, yeah, I guess. But I mean, I went through the position groups, and some of them got to start playing better. And I think Jordan will. But I think this falls. It's going to fall on the receivers when it comes down to it, because the defense is kind of what it's going to be. They're going to give up points. It's just the offense kind of has to drive the bus here. And to this point in the season, they really haven't driven the bus. These next couple games, when they're playing good opponents, good defenses, if they can get close to 30 points a game, I will say, okay, they're trending in the right direction. That's where I'm at right now. I think the most important position group right now is the receivers. The receivers have to ball out like they did last year, and I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, I mean, that has been, outside of Jaden Reed, Wicks gets open, can't hold on to the ball. Watson's been meh. I just think that, to answer your question, Jen, yeah, I think they would benefit from playing in a dome at different times because that's certainly going to help, Jordan Love throw the football. But I just think, again, 2010, everybody always, that's what they did in 2010. Clearly they can do it again. That's so damn hard. Mm-hmm. Like, you look at the teams that played in the Super Bowl last year, San Francisco and Kansas City. Like, Kansas City got one home playoff game and then had to play 2 on the road. But Kansas City's in a different, San Francisco's playing home games. Yes. Does it happen where a wild card team ends up representing their respective conference in the Super Bowl? Yes. But the easiest route to it is winning your division and getting home games.
Yeah, and that just seems so difficult to do at this point.
Yep.
It seems like it's going to be very difficult for the Packers to make up enough ground to win the division.
I'll tell you another thing right now that they have to clean up is these stupid penalties, these stupid, procedural penalties, because it is so hard to play on the road because you can't hear. And you're going to Minnesota, you're going to Detroit. You can't go from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 7. The play calling is just totally different, and it takes the run out of it. Mm-hmm. When it's 3rd and 7 and you're on the road, you're pretty damn sure they're throwing the ball. 3rd and 2, you can still have the option of running the ball. They have to clean up that slop, and that falls on LaFleur.
Let's put it on the Jug Gabe and Chewy Twitter poll this morning. FanDuel Sportsbook has 7 teams listed here to make the Super Bowl and their odds. Packers have plus 1,000 odds. Would you put, it doesn't even have to be $100. Would you put $10 down on the Packers with plus 1,000 odds to win the Super Bowl? Let us know on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account. Another guy made it into the little circle, made it into the target, Gabe. It's blinking. It's like Pac-Man out there. Blinky, blinky, blinky. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We have a special guest. Yeah, exactly. I'm squirreling all over the place. Squirrel! We have a special guest coming up to talk more about this event going on at AmFam Field. Upper Deck Golf here at AmFam Field. Don't go anywhere.
Tune into the Thanasis Show each and every week. It's presented by Gruber Law Offices. Thanasis Dedecumbo hangs out with special guests for fun and even surprising conversations. Maybe it's his live show with Giannis, chat with Green Bay quarterback Jordan Love, getting the inside scoop on fighting with Logan Paul, who's got a pretty big one coming up here soon. Or go to any one of others TA's unique guests. Find Thanasis Show, Apple, Spotify, anywhere else you get your podcasts. Plus, you can subscribe to Thanasis Show on YouTube to see exclusive video content from Thanasis. Thanasis Show, presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this fall? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards RealFit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What we need is a chart. And every week, we take the shirtless picture of Chew, and we move that to wherever the prediction is of how many wins that they have.
6, 6, 7. I think that's how it goes now, right?
8,
and they
6,
lost, and
7, 5, 3, 0, 9.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
Back out on campus with Celsius Energy Drink. Lots of guys who drink Celsius just like me in the college football space. Jalen Milroe is one of them, and Dylan Gabriel is another one. Celsius has so many different flavors to choose from. My favorite, of course, is the peach vibe, but also enjoying the sparkling cherry cola. If you haven't had that one yet, you got to get to it. Stay active and energized all game day long with Celsius by your side. Celsius, live fit. But I'm thinking it's time to grow. In keeping with the theme of the morning, we are now joined here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy by Katie Kluge, and she is representing the U.S. Women's Open Championship. She is a coordinator. Big news, guys, of course. It's the first time the U.S. Women's Open has been held at Erin Hills right here in Milwaukee. Dates of that event, May 29th through June 1st. Thanks for hanging out with us. Perfect theme, right? Yes, we're at a ballpark, but with the upper deck golf going on, and we are sitting here at the golf spot as well. Like it feels like good synergy, if you will.
Yes, it does. And I mean, the weather is certainly getting colder, but golf is top of mind here, and especially for us with the Women's Open coming next summer. So we're really excited to be back here in Wisconsin, and it's such a dedicated fan base of golf and volunteers for great championships. So we're excited.
You're from the area. What makes you most excited about having a U.S. Women's Open at Erin Hills?
I think, first of all, women's golf in general is just exploding, as it should. Women's golf they're playing extraordinary, and it's fun to watch. And like I said, Wisconsin is not shy to championship golf, and Erin Hills, for the many people that have been out there for the 2017 Open or just to golf, it's a beautiful venue. And I can personally say it's my favorite just because I'm from the area. So it's great to be here, and couldn't pick a better venue.
Katie Kluge, coordinator of the U.S. Women's Open Championship, here with us as we sit at X Golf watching these guys try to hit the targets out there at AmFam Field for the Upper Deck Golf Experience this weekend. So you just mentioned the explosion of women's golf. What do you attribute that to? Obviously, we have seen across the board a lot more attention on women's volleyball, a lot more attention, of course, on women's basketball at the collegiate level and the professional level. Is golf sort of kind of hooking itself to that wagon, or is it social media that is contributing to the explosion? What do you think it is?
Well, I think the USGA in general is really making a push to make women's golf in the forefront and really growing the game. You see their our development program is really pushing girls to get into the sport young, and professionals now are just playing tremendous golf, and people are catching on that it's entertaining to watch, and there's some great stories that come from it. So it's great to see.
How can people come out and watch it? I know, we're thinking ahead of time, early next summer, Erin Hills for the 2025 U.S. Women's Open. Tickets still available?
Yes. Tickets are on sale now at uswomensopen.com. We have daily tickets available as well as weekly packages. It's a very affordable event to come out to. Children under the age of 18 are free, so with a ticketed adult. So that's a great way to bring your family out and enjoy the event.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I'm comparing it, of course, to some of these other women's sports that we have seen at the forefront in the last few years. And we took our kids down to the WNBA game, the Chicago Sky, and my girls were in love with the environment, the arena. I assume that bringing kids out to a women's event like this, especially as you mentioned, admission free with a paying adult, that's a great way to spark that interest in the game. And of course, golf is a lifelong sport, one you can play forever.
Yes, certainly. I mean, I had the great chance to go to the U.S. Open in 2017 at Erin Hills, and here I am working the event now. So even just that, getting in the game of golf is huge for women in general, and to bring your kids out and see the great event, the infrastructure has just grown so much over the last couple of years. It's really great to see and great to bring the family.
Volunteer opportunities still available?
Yes, we have limited opportunities available. The Wisconsin, very dedicated volunteer base. So we have limited spots available that can be accessed on uswomensopen.com under volunteers. So register now if you are interested.
It also says here the best players in the world will be competing. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. The broadcast will be live all 4 days on NBC and USA Network. But again, the opportunity to experience it firsthand, to be there, to smell the grass and watch these top elite competitors compete is something you can't really put a price on. Highest purse in women's golf. Tell me about that.
Yes, with the explosion of women's golf and our presenting sponsor, Ally, and the USGA's commitment to women's golf, our purse is now at $12 million. which is the highest for women's golf.
Yeah.
So really an incentive for these women to win, as well as just putting it's a career-defining moment to win the U.S. Women's Open. So great for them and great for the sport.
Last thing I have for you, Katie Kluge, as we wrap up the show today, you said you're from Oconomowoc. I started the show talking about Waukesha, and they made fun of me. Am I saying it wrong?
I would say it's Waukesha.
Yeah.
It's a Keisha that I can't get behind.
I'm telling you, if you talk to people in that area, there are people who have been entrenched in that community for a very long time that say Waukesha. But maybe I was led astray. That's happened before.
I think you were led astray. Again, Chewy lives out there. He doesn't say it like that.
Just because Chewy doesn't say it like that doesn't mean it's wrong.
He is an authority when it comes to everything. Just ask him.
Katie, we really appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. Katie Kluge from the U.S. Women's Open Championship, which will be at Erin Hills May 29th through June 1st. Tickets available. Kids under 18 are free with a paying adult. It absolutely sounds like something people should get behind and attend. We have had a great morning here at AmFam Field for the Upper Deck Golf event. Gabe and Andy are going to compete. Who can get closest to the pin? We're going to put that on our social media accounts. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Backups continue along eastbound 94 from 84th Street through to about 35th. On southbound 43, heavy from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive and